There's that. And there's that. I forgot YouTube chat. That's what I forgot about. Alright. Yeah, I kind of figured it might be a little while, but I'm pretty sure it will also be a little while before anything worthy of note is happening in the game.
Check out the menu. You name it, I make it.
Oh, I guess I've unlocked all the soups now. Which is actually pretty useful.
Oh, not to your liking. Next time I'll have something that better suits your taste.
Okay.
Nothing to fear. The cunning here.
Starlight!
Time for some tail care.
I'll help you win. The lunch is on you.
Touch me. Ready for combat. Let's move.
Actually,
Standing by.
I have...
Need some?
Huh? Oh, to what do I owe the pleasure? I'll beat everyone.
Touch.
Start!
So Kaku, ready!
let's give this a try.
Better dodge.
Let me try, let me try! Hi!
Okay. Take this. Your weak spot. Get back. Sweep it all clean. Get lost. Get back.
A solid hit! Hey, you wanna play with me?
Bye-bye now. Get lost. Thank you for your patience. Out of the way. Don't move.
To the rescue! So Kaku's here! Here I come. I'm here.
Okay. Sick. Thank you for your patience. Hey, trouble, move.
Eyes on me. Zotaku's here.
Let's hurry it up.
Hey, you wanna play with me?
Troublesome. Sick. Sick.
I am not sure what just happened. Pretty sure the only stores you can get a picture of the staff of are the newsstand and the convenience store. Hmm? Okay.
Touch my tail, and now.
Did you pull? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Need
I'll help you.
standing by.
Is it working?
Nothing to fear. The cunning hairs are here.
Why don't you have a taste of my pie? I'm over here.
I got your six. This won't hurt.
You don't have what it takes. That's a Wanna try my massage?
Electric charge.
That'll teach ya. Time to sharpen my claws. It's a fast.
Outmaneuvered.
Don't worry, that's gonna hurt a lot. Neat and tidy. My turn, my turn.
I don't think I've seen this one before.
Keep the pace. Just leave it to me.
You're my fave, Nicole.
At your command. It's no good surrendering.
Why don't you have a taste of my claws? Let's play some more. Over here. Lucky you,
I want a bonus for this.
Needle in the claw.
Behave now.
You don't have what it takes.
We'll never back down. Eliminating target. It's up to you. Target confirmed. Go. Neat and tidy. What are they scratching?
Oh. Yikes. Good thing I can replay those. But for now... Actually...
I'll help you win.
Touch my tail? And no.
Okay. So, weird green thingies.
Time for some tail care.
As long as I make sure I keep 80 battery after this, then it should be fine. Let's see, that's ice, I believe. That's not what I wanted. Oh well. You were very behind.
What's this?
I don't know. YouTube streams tend to be really inconsistent with like keeping up with whatever is actually happening on the screen.
I'm over here. That'll teach ya.
I want a bonus for this. Just leave it to
Really?
me.
Wanna try my massage? This won't hurt. Here's the best. Yourself wide open.
I want a bonus for this.
coming in. This won't hurt. Nah. Why don't you have a taste of my claws? You can't escape.
Welcome, Okara. You are indeed second. Not that long after you left last night,
I'll help you with
I got the
Time for
new
some
character,
talking.
who I am now farming materials for. Now I just need to figure out which part of her kit is where I should be focusing materials. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's a pretty fun game, but I think I said last night as well, it's definitely a pretty niche game in terms of target audience, I think. I like it a lot, but I can totally understand people not really being able to get as into it as I have been. Okay, it looks like basic attack is the main priority. Yeah, at the very least, you can get... Well, I was going to say at the very least you can get the current character free to play. Technically, you can get enough materials to reach a guaranteed S-rank character on the banner. It's not... I think it's only a 50% chance that that your first S rank on it will be the banner character, though. So that's kind of trash. Let's see. I'd need 18 more of these. I cannot make 18 more of these.
Touch my tail, and no.
That's not what I meant to do. I don't know. I know you get a fair number of pulls from the, like, seasonal track, which I believe is... I know the season changes every game version, and I believe the, like, paid season is $10. So, for $10 every month and a half, you can get a pretty fair number of pulls. I believe the game is only single player. To my knowledge, the only multiplayer is there's an arcade, I don't know. You go to the arcade pretty early on. You might have already been there. you can play some of the arcade games against other players, but that's the only multiplayer the game has to my knowledge. Yeah, I currently, I mean, keep in mind, this, like, because this is every game version, it would only be, it would be every month and a half instead of every month, so technically it's a little bit cheaper. But, like, right now I get the Star Rail one pretty regularly, just because that's the only one of these games that I play often enough to actually clear the entire season. This one, there's a decent chance I'll actually clear this season before the version is over, so I might get this one as well. But yeah, 10 bucks if you just want the season track, and then for 20 you can get a little bit of extra stuff. Typically, the $20 is just for... That's not what I want. Ugh. Typically, the 20 bucks is just for... Like in Genshin and Star Rail, all you really get out of spending that is some cosmetics that you wouldn't get from the normal. And it instantly skips you 10 levels. So, occasionally, when I played Genshin a lot more, I'd get the more expensive one if I was nearly at the end, but wouldn't be able to complete it normally. I've not gotten this one. If I can get to level 50 before the version is over, I probably will, because 50 is, yeah, where the rewards end. But typically typically I'll only buy like a season pass for a game if I'm already at the end of it, because I'm not gonna get it if I'm not gonna get all the stuff out of it. Okay. Promotion materials. If I spend 40, I'll still have enough to run the chunky boss twice.
What's this? You're my fave, Nicole. Coming in. I'll save my shots. Wanna try my massage? It's no good for running.
Okay. That's not gonna be enough for another ascension, though, I don't think. Okay.
Did you call me?
Touch my tail? No.
Yeah, that'd still leave me quite a few short. Oh well. I guess the real question is, which would...
Time for some tail care.
Leveling her again, or ascending would probably be more valuable than unlocking the skills.
Nicole. Behave now. Why don't you have a taste of my claws? I'm over here. I want a bonus for this. Wanna try my massage? It's no good surrendering. That'll teach ya. You can't escape. Don't worry, it's gonna rain a lot. Electric charge.
Oh, okay.
What's this? It's a fact!
Okay.
Did you call?
Touch my tail? No.
Still, I should be able to make 4 though. Really? Is the game about to disconnect because I tried to level up a character? Failed to connect to server, huh? Oh no. People on Twitch might have seen how old my email address domain is. Why is this? Yeah, it's still set to controller. It's still set to controller, except it's only accepting mouse and keyboard inputs. I'm gonna go ahead and make the wild guess that that's an even older domain than mine is.
Time for some tailcare.
Okay, so it actually did increase the stats. Oh. Wait, what? I'm guessing it changed, like, the link that you put in? Hmm. Okay.
Touch my tail, and no.
Okay. I will be back in just a moment. Alright, I'm back. Out of curiosity. Okay, so judging by dates I'm seeing online, pretty sure new email addresses using the domain mine has were retired much, much longer ago than anything that Time Warner would have had. Because, let me see. Let me make sure. Well, okay. I don't know when they would have stopped issuing... Well, let me see. So yeah, it looks to me like Time Warner was bought out in 2014. Bell South, which is what the domain mine has, was bought out in 2006. And I'm just making the wild, unfounded assumption that when each one was bought out is when they stopped issuing email addresses with that domain. Funny enough, I know at least two other people who also have them. Now, admittedly, one of them is my dad, who is the reason why I have one. He worked for them at the time. Yep, the email address that I still use for most... I don't typically use it for anything besides games anymore, but that I still use for most, like, game accounts to this day is the first email address that I ever had. And it was one that my dad set up for me when I was a little kid. Alright, rather than trying to work around it, I should just turn this on. Yeah, as it turns out, starting my streams around an hour or two before supper time makes it kind of awkward to do the stream. My dad made kind of a chicken Alfredo-y kind of something for supper. It's pretty tasty. As it turns out, this game likes to guess what it is that has players distracted. Unfortunately, I know from personal experience that while difficult, it is completely possible to go wrong with tendies. Namely, by allowing me to be involved in their preparation. I don't think I've actually ever been involved in the preparation of tendies. Me being bad at cooking is something that I joke about a lot. I live in a house full of people that are all very good at cooking. And then there's me, who can barely manage to follow a step-by-step recipe. I've never managed to serve anything undercooked. What I tend to do is completely forget seasonings. I've done that enough times that I'm now in the habit of, when I think I'm close to done with whatever food, I ask someone else to taste it. Because that's the other thing, is like, I can't tell if something needs more seasoning or not. Like, I can taste something and think, I think something's missing, but I couldn't tell you what it is that's missing. But, like, my parents and my sister all can just throw things into a pot and they'll miraculously come out as the best food anyone has ever had. And I mean, I know that's the product of them all having had a lot more practice than me, but I still don't see how practice is going to help me get over my rather mediocre sense of taste. I'll tell you though, the like 3 things that I know how to cook have made me very good at cutting up onions. No, I just mean that like everything I ever make has onion, and I've just had more experience than I feel like the average person of my cooking level would have with cutting onions up because of that. Whether or not I like onions is very heavily dependent on how cooked they are and how they're being used. Like some really, really well cooked onions on a burger, really tasty to me. But I can't stand onions raw, ever, on anything. When I was a lot younger, my dad used to grill a lot. And anytime he grilled burgers, he'd throw some onions on the grill. Like, he'd cut onions into rings and throw those onto the grill as well. And they were always amazing. But yeah, honestly, a lot of what I make when I cook are soups, just because they're typically really easy to make, and I just really like soup. I actually can't have ramen most of the time. I have a number of food allergies, and it turns out a lot of prepackaged ramen is processed processed in the same facilities as all the things I'm allergic to. I have found, or I say my dad and my sister have found a handful of, like, the main culprit of my not being able to have ramen in terms of allergies is shellfish. My dad and my sister have found a handful of vegan ramen brands that I was able to have because vegan can't have any shellfish in it. So that gets around the major food allergy that keeps me from being able to eat them. But they're always hard to find and horrifically expensive. Honestly, one of the biggest reasons I did start learning or trying to learn to cook was so that I could try to make various foods that I wouldn't normally be able to eat because of my allergies. But that completely fell by the wayside when I realized instead I could just make the same two soups or stir fry, and it would take like 20 minutes at most for pretty good food. Like if someone tells me, oh yeah, you're in charge of supper, one of my number one go-tos is a soup that's literally just dump some like cooked ground beef and some sauteed onions and a bunch of canned goods into a pressure cooker and set it for 20 minutes. Oh yeah, honestly, like right now, living with my parents, everyone here works. So honestly, like some kind of crock pot or pressure cooker meal that we can just put in whichever one at the beginning of the day and it'll be ready by the time we're ready to eat is a go-to for everyone here. Like, my dad a lot of times will put, like, a beef roast into a crock pot with a bunch of onions and potatoes. Man, that's amazing every time. Oh, believe me, there's nothing extravagant any night that I'm given the responsibility of cooking. But yeah, honestly, like, a beef roast is just something that's so easy to do when everyone's gonna be working all day. So I totally get why it's something we do so often. I mean, I get plenty of cooking tips from plenty of people. Like I said, both of my parents and my sister are all amazing cooks. One of my best friends, who has been on a couple of my streams, but not in a while. But, like, one of my best friends is also an amazing cook. I don't know. I know more good cooks than bad ones. Or, out of, like, the people I hang out with on any regular basis, I think there's only one of them who doesn't cook. Okay, what was I gonna look at? Okay. You know what, honestly? How many of the little restore thingies do I have? 8? That's not actually that many. What is the natural recovery on this? 1 point, I'm guessing it's 1 point every 5 minutes. If I get up to 20 from natural recovery before the end of the stream, I'll go and I'll use one of the batteries and then go get the thing that I was looking for, or trying to get before. Probably until around 9 or 10, like usual. It'll really just depend on how wrapped up in the story I get.
So, for the monster in the square, you're really saying Hand is gonna take over the remaining investigation?
Absolutely positive. We heard it firsthand, together with the Bellabog Industries people.
It just occurred to me, I've got no clue what time zone you're in, but Okay. Guess close enough that you figured out what I meant by 9 or 10. Roughly 2 or 3 more hours, basically. Okay, so we're in the same time zone. I would tell you, if you're interested at some point in help in Elden Ring, I'd be happy to offer it, but you'd have to mod your game if you wanted my help, so... Tree Sentinel blocking the next main boss. Oh, the Draconic Tree Sentinel, I'm guessing? Ah. So yeah, that's the Draconic Tree Sentinel. All I can really say is... I wonder if you can get one of the good lightning resistance talismans before Lanedell. If you're not using any talismans, you should definitely start. They're literally just passive boosts to your stats. There's no reason not to have as many equipped as you have slots for. There we go. Let's see. There's no way there's only a 1 and a 3. There's got to be a 2 somewhere. So... I'd definitely recommend doing some exploring. Honestly, like, the thing that makes Elden Ring the best entry point to, like, Souls games to a new player is the fact that you can explore if you're up against something that's giving you a tough time. There's a fair chance when you were in Stormvale leading up to Godric that you might have found the Bolt Drake talisman. Equipping that will give you a bit of a resistance to lightning. There's also an enhanced version of the Bolt Drake talisman in a cave called the Old Altus Tunnel. That is somewhere over on the east edge of the Altus Plateau. even if you're not underleveled, a lot of the game's most interesting weapons and a lot of just in general interesting content can be found by exploring. The game has a number of little side quests you can do as well that you might miss if you don't find them. Killed a lion-looking dude on an island. Okay, I'm guessing the Leonine Misbegotten over at the fort that's like way far south, and then a Tibia Mariner is the ghost in the pond. But yeah, like, honestly, absolutely look out for, like, for mini bosses and fight them. Because even if they're not, like, important, like, story bosses, a lot of them will drop some really interesting stuff. Like, if the lion guy you're talking about is the one I'm thinking of, the sword you got from him, you can, like, equip and activate its weapon arts, and that'll boost all of your levels by, like, that'll boost all of your stats by 5 for a little while. And then I'm pretty sure it'll stick even if you want to equip it. So you can use that just to buff yourself real quick and then unequip it for a fight. Yeah. Yeah. Fake Courtyard Margit is not quite as dangerous as actual Margit. But yeah, like I said before, the Bolt Drake Talisman will give you some lightning resistance. I'd also recommend getting, if you haven't already, getting either a Sacred Seal or a Staff and incorporating some kind of magic into your build. Because there are some incantations you can get that will give you damage type resistance boosts. If you just stick with fairly cheap spells, you can just cast a couple of them going into a fight and then not bother with them again. But also, like, once you've maxed out your flasks, I think you can get a total of 15 flasks, and you're typically not gonna need all of those to be health. Like, on the character I've been running most recently, I've not actually gotten past the boss. Like, the same boss we're talking about, I only just recently got past on my most recent character, and I'm already at 13. So you can get a lot of them just by exploring. Let me put it this way. Once you have, like, I'd say 10 plus flasks, you're not likely to survive. Like, if you need more than 9 health flasks, you're not likely to survive long enough to use them, is how I generally approach it. The common advice that was... Not necessarily. I mean, if you've not been exploring, you're almost certainly wildly underleveled. Because I know, like, the common advice that was floating around when the game first released was that you should have 60 vigor going to fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel. I mean, I'm pretty sure I only ran 40 my entire way through the game. But I also have a lot more experience with Souls games than you do. Another thing that's worth knowing about is that stats have what the community generally refers to as soft caps. Basically, those are the point where the amount of, like, where increasing them, like, where the returns for increasing them starts to go down. So, like, 40 dexterity is generally a pretty good stopping point. Like, that's true for dexterity, strength, intelligence, and faith. 40 in any of those stats is generally a good stopping point for, like, a mid-game build. And then, honestly, I'm of the opinion that you can almost never have too much vigor, but 60 is really where it's, like, where your returns really start to drop off after that. But yeah, like, for the Draconic Tree Sentinel, your biggest thing is definitely going to be finding some way to get lightning resistance, because lightning is the damage type you have the least natural resistance to. Like, it's a weird kind of thing where I don't remember exactly why, but because of the way stats, like your character stats work in Elden Ring, players will generally have a decent passive resistance to fire, but a very low resistance to lightning, and a kind of middling resistance to everything else. As far as going to level up, I could tell you the favored total, like, not actually, like, technically not cheating level exploit of the community. Let's see, by type. So, neither of these are glitches. Technically speaking, these are both intended mechanics, just used in ways that aren't intended. And neither of these will get you to level 200. 200 is like New Game Plus levels. I think on average people end the game at around level 140. Have you been to Caelid yet? If you've not done a whole lot of exploring, I'd imagine the answer is probably no. Oh, you have. Okay. So there are two major easy, like, sources of, one time each, sources of easy levels in Caelid. Actually, technically no, but the alternative is a lot harder to find, so kind of. Actually, if you have the medallion, though, you have been to... Then that means you've been to the fort with the giant dragon out front. Yes. Typically, that dragon has too much health for you to kill, but because the bleed status effect, which your Bloodhound's Fang does, hits for a percentage of an enemy's health bar, you can use that. Okay. So you did go ahead and do that. The other one is that somewhere kind of northwest-ish from there, there's a bridge patrolled by a Knight's Cavalry. If you've not seen a Knight's Cavalry before, they only appear during the night. So you have to like rest at a grace and then use that to pass time until night. But this would probably take several tries, but it is possible to bait that Knight's Cavalry into jumping off of the bridge. I don't believe it's near it. It's not near a church, I don't think. Okay, you baited the Bloodhound Step Knight's Cavalry off the bridge then? Okay. Well, yeah, it's pretty near where you got the medallion piece and where the big dragon was. Yeah, okay. The last and only repeatable early game source of XP farming. Have you... Trying to think. Have you... So, do you remember the guy that was right outside of the starting area? Like as soon as you walked out of the area you started in, there was a guy right there that called you maidenless. Yes, that is White Mask Vare. Assuming you didn't immediately murder him, as is the instinct of most players. Now that you have acquired Great Runes, he should be at, I believe it's the Church of the Rose in, southwest Liurnia. If you talk to him there, he'll give you, I believe, 3 bloody fingers. And if you use those, you will invade other players' games. You don't have to win the invasions, you just have to invade. After you've done that 3 times, he will tell you to go soak a rag in blood. Honestly, you'd probably just want to look up his quest line, but basically, by completing his quest, you gain access to an optional area, and you can climb up, to a cliff face and shoot at a giant bird, and the giant bird will run off of an edge, trying to get to you. Honestly, I'd generally recommend just, as far as getting XP, I'd recommend just exploring and seeing what you find. But if you want to actively farm levels, doing his quest and, getting a bow and some cheap arrows and sniping the bird to to make it run off the cliff is... Until you've gotten much later in the game, that's going to be your best way to get to just farm levels. but like there are a bunch of little character quests. Like there are one of the character quests, and if you haven't already, you can pick this quest up in like the far like northwest corner of Liurnia. But one of the character quests literally has like a bunch of in-game areas and boss fights locked behind it. Hello, by the way. I heard Discord ping.
Hello. No, you're fine. I wasn't going to interrupt your whatever you were saying.
Talking about Elden Ring.
Fun times.
Say that again.
Gosh. Fun.
Hmm.
Fun.
Yeah, maybe after 30 minutes of talking about something else while I just had dialogue on the screen, I should actually progress the story of the game I'm playing.
I definitely thought I'd be back here sooner, but oh well.
Oh well.
Yeah, I was gonna try to stream again tonight, but then I'm not at like 7. Well, maybe I've got some time. Maybe we'll see. How's stream been?
About normal.
Good.
The monster's remains will still be collected by public security, of course. But the automated evidence carrier will bring the remains to hand once it passes through the hollow.
Yeah, I get it.
Of course.
Hand is better than public security at investigating this kind of weird stuff. They've always had a pretty delicate relationship. That PubSec officer seems decent, though. Being willing to put all that aside and hand over the case. Oh, it's getting late. I can't stay in chat. I have a client meeting scheduled later. Anyway, I'll do my best to help look for Rain, so
Shoot,
keep
one
an
second.
eye out for some good news.
Thanks, Nicole. Bye. Hey, Wise.
I take it that you've told Nicole about the mission to find Rain.
Yeah, Nicole figured that we were related to what happened in the square, so she called to ask. I explained everything and told her about the mission to find Rain.
You have a great night as well, Okara. Hopefully you have a bit easier of a time of Elden Ring after some exploring. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to stream tomorrow. It will depend on a number of things. So I guess we'll all just find out when the time comes.
By the way, Koleda also called earlier to say public security confirmed the time to collect the monster's remains.
Hopefully, Hand will be quick to figure things out once they get the evidence.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, whether it's the investigation or the search for Rain, all we can do now is wait for news. Since we don't have a lot on our plate,